Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and thanks for the support. Today I want to do a quick video on how to do a herringbone wire wrap. There are different ways you can do this with either a flat end and one connector end, or you can do extra weaves on the bottom. Today I'm going to show you how to do a basic connecting. So you have two loops, one on each end, and I thought it would be a fun way to learn how to do a new wire wrap. Let's get wrapping. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for liking and subscribing. I wanted to do a quick tutorial on how to do a herringbone wire wrap, and this is a connector style. How to do this one. It has two loops on the end, so you can create a pair of earrings or a necklace or a bracelet out of this style of wire wrap. I just wanted to do this version. There are some where it's just flats, or you have different swirls on the bottom. But this one's a fairly easy one, especially if you're a beginner wire wrapper, so I thought it'd be fun to do this one. So for starters, I'm using Artistic Wire brand wire in 24 gauge in silver, and I'll be using an 8mm tourmaline bead, and I'm using a black one. Here we go, fill off my table. And I'm cutting about 20 inches of wire. So you want to cut a little extra so you have enough to work with. And to start, you want to have about a 2 or 3 inch tail off to the side. And you want to form a loop at the top with your round nose pliers and have your tail off to the end. And next I'm going to hold them with my tools, and I'm going to bring the tail around, and I'm going to wire wrap 10 coils here underneath the top loop. And you want your coils to be close together and tight. You just want them to line up right underneath each other. And by the time you get to 10, you're going to have probably 1/4 of an inch of space. And you'll have some tail left over, that's all right. You just want to cut off your excess wire and then take your pliers and pinch it down. Next, you want to slide your bead on the wire to the base. Let me get those out of the way of your loops like this. And you want to have the same amount of space for loops that you have down here on the top as well. So you want to have this amount of space on the bottom and on the top of your bead. So you can use a ruler to measure it or eyeball it, however you feel more comfortable. I'm looking at, I probably have about that much space. So I'm going to take, again, my round nose pliers and form a loop and just kind of double check. Yeah, it's about the same. And I'm going to hold it down with my pliers and take the wire. And again, I'm going to coil around and form 10 loops. Now a little pro tip here, if you figure out, oops, I have more loops than I need, this does kind of make your wire crinkle a little bit, but you can go back out, take your round nose pliers and kind of cut it down a little bit and bring it around. Don't pull too tight because it can snap the wire once you've wire wrapped with it once. And hold down your loop and then just recoil again and go down for the 10 loops and then stop above the stone. So we have about the same amount of space, top and bottom. So I'm going to rotate this around and grab my wire, and I'm going to go around the outside of the bead and over the top of my previous wire loop here. Do one coil around and bring the wire again on the outside of the bead like so. Go up around the top of my previous coils and go one time around and bring the wire around the bead again. Now, every time you bring the wire around the bead, you have to go behind the previous wire wrap, like so. We're going behind it. So even if you have to kind of pinch your wire, maneuver it, whatever you got to do, you just want it to go behind the previous wire wrap. And again, back over and atop around the previous coil one time, bring down along the side of the bead again, up over the top, wire wrap one coil around again, back along the side of the bead, behind the previous wire wraps. We're going behind and back over the top again, bring it around behind, up over the top again. Okay, so on this one, we've now reached the top of our loop. So we're done on this side. So I'm going to bring it around one more time over here to the top of the loop here. And now I am done. So I'm going to take my wire, go one time around the loop, cut off my excess wire, and pinch it closed like so. And just make sure that the end of this wire is nice and flat. And here you go. You have some herringbone wire wrapped beads. So now you can take one loop and add an ear wire, or you can add another bead at the bottom. You can also put these together and create a bracelet or a necklace, totally however you want to create. But this is basically what your wire pattern will look like. There you go. It's just a fun little way of wire wrapping around a bead. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, or send me an email. My website is andriabieberdesigns.com. My email is andriabieberdesigns@gmail.com. And thank you for liking and subscribing and watching. And if you do make something fun with this pattern, feel free to tag me on social media, and have a great day.